Gringos en Buenos Aires.
Gringos en Buenos Aires.
Welcome to another dose of the Gringos in Buenos Aires podcast, the podcast that brings expat life to you. We're here with someone who's back for another dose, Daniel Encel, our friend from down under. Hello, Daniel.
Hi, Paul.
Nice to see you again.
Good to be back.
Nice to see you again. How you been?
I've been well. Long trip from San Isidro to get here, but I'm sure it'll be worth it.
Well, you're a traveler. You just got back from somewhere really cool, I heard.
Yes, I just got back from Malvinas.
From the Malvinas. You were in the Malvinas.
Yes, Islas Malvinas.
Where do we start?
Yeah, where
First,
do we start? Yeah, and please don't put a fat wow on me.
No, first,
Okay.
we got to start from where. How did you get there?
Okay, that's a story in itself. So what happens, there is one flight a month.
One flight a month.
One flight a month from Argentina. So there's two ways of getting to Malvinas by air generally. One is from UK air base in southern England. The other is from Punta Arenas in Chile. But once a month under the 1999 treaty, the plane stops in Argentina, which I actually refer to as a political stop because there are not many passengers. And it normally goes through Rio Gallegos, but they decided to dig up the runway. So I booked my flight and I was meant to go through Rio Gallegos, and all of a sudden there's no flights to Rio Gallegos, and it's like, I can't go.
Rio Gallegos?
RGL, sorry, I can't pronounce it properly.
Rio Gallegos.
Yeah, so I'll just say RGL. I'll use airport codes from now on. So anyway, what happens, they negotiated it to go temporarily through Ushuaia. So I was on the first flight from Ushuaia, and it was a very controversial flight.
Why?
Because what happened was that LATAM did not put the full name of Ushuaia on the tickets or the bookings, which is Islas Malvinas, Ushuaia Airport. Anyway, it's got an Islas Malvinas moniker on it. And it caused, they basically did this huge political drama about it, and it was all the Terra del Fuego Assembly could talk about. It was how they disrespected the veterans, and it was an assault on Argentine sovereignty because LATAM didn't put the entire full name of the airport on the booking or the ticket. And it went all the way to Congress here, and there was a notice condemning LATAM, and the premier of Terra del Fuego was threatening LATAM with all sorts of things. And the interesting thing was I flew on the government airline, Aerolíneas Argentinas, from Buenos Aires to Ushuaia, and it just had the airport code. It did not have the full name of the airport.
They also...
Yes,
USH. They did the same thing. And no one said anything.
The thing is, you can't fit it. It's pretty long, the name. You usually just use a 3-letter airport code. And there's, I think, 5 Malvinas airports in Argentina. So it's like, would be very easy to confuse which Malvinas airport, but it was really, they were just trying to make political hay, as we would put it. And so I thought, there's going to be bulldozers on the runway, there's going to be protesters. I thought there would be a guy that looked like General Videla at the airport and he'd be interrogating me. And I went there, and they quickly put a huge sign up outside the airport saying, it's Argentine Malvinas, and lots of Malvinas related branding. Coming to the airport, they put in a new Malvinas shrine in the airport, but actually in the airport there was no police, there was no protesters. There was 2 really polite, efficient people that let us through. The interesting thing is it's considered to be an internal flight, so there's no stamp on your passport. And at Ushuaia, they didn't know, they'd never done a Malvinas flight before, so it's an internal flight. And what was really interesting was the people that went on the flight with me, and I'm doing a story on it. When I get back home, I've got to edit it.
The crew.
But, no, the Argentines that came with me.
Were there a lot of passengers?
No, there was like seven.
Seven
Passengers. So the plane had to stop just for those 7 passengers. And I got to speak to them, and they were from all over Argentina, and they were lovely people, and we sort of bonded as a group.
So it was. So let me say, it was a flight from Chile.
Yes.
To Ushuaia.
So it goes from Santiago, then it goes to Puerto Arenas in Chile, then it stops in Ushuaia, and then it goes to what the Argentines call Puerto Argentino.
Puerto Argentina. How long's the flight?
Like an hour?
An hour? No, nothing.
Nothing.
Wow.
And it was the first flight
From Ushuaia.
from Aerolíneas Argentina.
That's the maiden voyage.
No, it was with LATAM. But I flew to Ushuaia, which is a very hairy airport. Have you ever flown into that airport?
No.
It's on reclaimed land. You're surrounded by like snow-capped mountains. There's like one runway. and when the Chilean guy hadn't flown in before and he did what's called a failed approach. Mm-hmm. So because you've got to commit. And if you get it wrong, it's like you're over the edge. Yeah. So he did this failed approach and flew around again. And then when we took off, he took it right to the end of the runway. Woo! Like, I've got this video and I'm looking down the cliff.
Did they clap?
No, they...
Some Argentinians clap when the flight is landed.
Yeah.
So they were just quite emotional, the Argentine passengers that went with me. And we
Must have been a very select few. I mean, because not everybody.
No, Argentines don't need visas.
They don't need visas.
It's very easy for Argentines to go to, if they're on the flight or they go through Chile, they don't need visas.
Huh. I didn't know that.
No, so you got to Malvinas.
Yes, I got to
Malvinas.
Right
at the airport.
Yes,
what was the feeling on the plane? Well, it
was interesting because what happened was that they keep an eye on what's going on here. Like a lot of people, did you know about the Terra de Fuego business so they know all about it, right? So there's this Facebook site that is dedicated to publishing every inflammatory bit of rhetoric that is said in Argentina about Malvinas, and they all read it. And I went on the plane with these Argentines and these old kelpers, that's what you call the original Falkland Islanders. They were glaring. If looks could kill, we would have dropped dead on the spot. But most people are fine. And there was a lovely retired professor that came with us, and she was quite scared. I think she thought they might be cannibals and might want to eat her when she got there. And we got to the airport, which is an Air Force base, and it's like a shed, which is very strange. And I got out of the terminal, and I said to this woman, I found out she lived in Buenos Aires. She's basically Argentine. Dual citizen, and I said, look, I'm with a passenger, she's a bit scared about what's going on, could she hang out with you? And so all on the way back from the airport, which is a long way, she was talking in Pateño Spanish to this woman, and it was just, she was so happy and so relieved, and she couldn't believe it. So there's a lot of ties with Argentina there, but it's under the radar.
And the place, the surroundings?
Absolutely beautiful. Not like, it sort of looks like some places in Australia, the islands between Tasmania and mainland Australia. Also, parts of it look like New Zealand, parts of it look like, I guess, Scotland, the islands off Scotland. But they have these things called stone runs, which are like rivers and lakes of razor-sharp rocks. And I'd never heard of them, or I didn't know about them. And so, yeah, a really, really beautiful place.
Where did you stay?
I stayed in sort of like a barracks. It was the cheapest place on the islands.
Is it expensive?
It's horrifically expensive.
Really?
Not Zurich expensive, but would be the second most. So it's like, do I have to sell a kidney to eat my dinner here? No, it wasn't that bad, but it was really expensive. But everything has to be brought in, and Argentina blocks trade. So there's no Argentine goods in the shops. They actively try to stop people trading with the Falklands. So everything really comes in from Chile or the United Kingdom. There's a boat once a month from Uruguay. So that's it. So it's pretty isolated and really expensive. But they have Spanish-speaking staff where I was staying. It's all set up. It's like a very Spanish language friendly environment. And I think that all of the Argentines that went there, I spoke to them when they came back and they said people were really friendly. And having been there, they felt that the situation was more complicated than when they first came.
Did you have dinner at 9 o'clock?
No.
9 p.m.? No.
No, it wasn't. I was basically drinking with interesting people I met and stumbling home, to be honest. So, and one night I had some Malbec, but it was Chilean Malbec because you can't get Argentine wine now. So I missed my Argentine Malbec and I took a wrong turn and it started raining. And 6 kilometres later, I end up at so I saw, I think, every new house that's been built in Stanley or Puerto Argentino since 1982. So, yeah, it's changed a lot. But
Did you meet any of the locals? Did you talk to any of the
a lot of them. I did social history research. I met new people that have moved there from around the world. I met a lot of people that were there during the war. I met people like seventh generation people. People that, a lot of people that are really, really interesting people, really nice. So it was a lot different than I thought it would be.
Must be rough to live there, though.
Rough?
It can't be easy living there because of the weather. And like you said, you can't get a lot of goods.
True, and the wind is pretty incessant. Like there is just constant wind, and there's a shortage of fruit and vegetables there. So it was really tough, the fruit and vegetable situation. But
Do people seem happy there?
look, it's a pretty wealthy place. It is very well organised. It is clean. It is orderly. I mean, they do look, essentially, I don't want to offend anyone here, they're a micronation and a microstate, and they run it really well. Like everything's clean and orderly. The fisheries, where they get most of their money from, is like world's best practice in fishery management. But I get the impression that every single person that was alive during the conflict has post-traumatic stress. Like the entire society was affected, and it's very rarely talked about. They talk about the battles between the men, but they don't talk about how an entire society was traumatized. And these people were pretty innocent. Like there was drunken disorderly, those sort of crimes. There was no theft. There was no sort of real crime, and they were so isolated. And all of a sudden, they had thousands of troops fighting, and I don't know that they've really got over it. Like they're a lot wealthier now, but I think the war has left sort of psychological scars on everyone.
Yeah, well, that happens everywhere.
Yeah.
In any nation that experiences a war. And incredible.
Incredible.
Yeah, so there's a lot of wealthy people, you said.
Well, yes, it's a wealthy, it's a really wealthy, because they've managed it really well.
I think it's not like punctually wealthy people, like the place is wealthy. It's like a micro country, like a Vatican, sort of. You are close to Argentina, but you are funded by the United Kingdom.
That's not actually true. The United Kingdom doesn't give them any money at all.
Nothing.
Zero. Totally.
How are they linked with England? I don't know.
They protect them from Argentina. That's it. So they are self-governing, completely self-governing. Argentina refuses to negotiate directly with them because they call them squatters. And so Argentina will only negotiate directly with the United Kingdom. So therefore, if Argentina would negotiate with them, the UK wouldn't need to do anything in terms of foreign affairs. They have defence because obviously a population of 3,500 can't defend themselves
It's nothing.
against Argentina. So that's basically it. But they have complete self-government apart from that. So, and they have a distinct identity. So if you say to them, "What are you?" It's like, I'm a Falklander. They will say, I said the F word. And they'll say, I'm a Falklander. But they are ethnic British, but you have people from all around the world now. So after the war, people, because there just weren't enough people to rebuild, people came from all around the world. And now there's, I think, 70 different ethnic groups there.
Really?
And quite a few Argentines. And they try to stay under the radar, and I got to talk to some of them, and they don't like, they're very discreet because, but in the referendum, when 99.8% of people voted to stay self-governing, not to join Argentina, they know there was 2 people that voted against.
Only 2 people.
And they know who they are because it's small.
Yeah, mocked.
But this is something, I don't want to freak anyone else here. All the Argentines voted against it, like everyone.
Seeing what you saw being there, what would you say it will happen next years?
Look, I know what I want to happen. I love this country, and it's in a political cul-de-sac with these islands, and I did conflict management theory at university, and I've used it actually in family quarrels. It works really well. And the first thing you do in conflict management theory, you don't talk about the war. What do we agree on? Right? And the first thing, well, there's an agreement among honouring the dead, and there is cooperation between the governments on graves and access for soldiers' families. The second thing is fisheries. You share a fishery, and Argentina will not cooperate with...
I'm sorry, I don't know what it is.
A fishery, where fish are... Fish, where the fish grow.
Yeah.
So that's the second thing. It's like, I wish Argentina would join them in managing together and sharing research, just as not political as science, and for the planet and for the environment, because there is this giant army of Chinese fishing boats that hangs outside the Argentine territorial limits and comes and steals. They just sweep the ocean like a vacuum cleaner.
Chinese.
And together, if they work together, I think something could be done about this. But the fishery stocks, I'm hoping things like that, and where areas of common interest, and maybe leave the sovereignty thing and just focus on and managing the environment as well. So, yeah, I hope things move. And I want to see Argentine fruit and vegetables in the supermarket there. I want to see like world-class hospitality people, which are in this country, serving there. Look, I think the people from Zimbabwe are great, and they were really good, are good at what they did and whatever, but I'd like to see like Argentines working there. And it's just not possible at the moment because of the political situation. So just start with the environment and common things, and maybe in the future, but the way things are going, the way it's done in Argentina is like in a dead end, and there's just, it has to change its attitude. If I could say, Javier Milei, and I'm not going to say, whether I think he's a good guy or not, but he made some compromises, and so did Diana, at least foreign minister. They got into big trouble for that. And as soon as his polls went down, now he's, I would say, drinking the Malvinas Kool-Aid. He's back in the air, waving the flag and everything. And I just wish it wasn't used as a way to get votes and generate emotion. I wish, at least they could manage the fisheries together, because it's terrifying what those pirate fleets are doing. And
there is an image, like a satellite image
satellite image
of lights and you see all the Argentinian lights at night, the Malvinas lights at night, and in the middle of the sea, you see like a big spot of lights, and it's the Chinese boats that are fishing. So it's like a...
Were you surprised by the way of life, or did anything shock you or surprise you apart from the prices?
How beautiful they were, because I actually went there too for the people, because I wanted to meet the people, really. I just thought this isolated community, also the history was always really interesting to me. So just how beautiful it was amazed me. The whole penguins being everywhere surprised me. I didn't realise the penguins being everywhere. I was moved by the whole story of the place, and realise how complicated things are as well. People like to talk of things in black and white, and in real life they're much more complicated. But I had their squid, their rabas is like fantastic, really fantastic. So I tried rabas at almost every place. So I could become a Puerto Argentino rabas critic, because I've eaten rabas at every single place there.
Great review.
Yeah. Did you tour the islands?
So have you heard of the M25 that goes around London?
No.
It's a big ring road that goes around London, and they have one. They built when they first got their money from the Spanish fishing licenses. They built it, but they never had roads before, so there were no roads. And so they built this road, a ring road around the island, which they call the F25. It's like a joke. Uh-huh. And so I hired this monster truck thing, and me and this guy from Crete drove around the whole of East Falkland, and had a great time. It was spectacular, and we stopped at Goose Green and Port St. Carlos, and we went to the Argentine cemetery, and so I got to see it, which was really, really beautiful. And this amateur ornithologist took us to the penguin colonies there, which is unfortunately being wiped out by bird flu.
Ooh.
So, yeah, that was another thing. When I stopped at Ushuaia, I bought all this cold weather clothes, and I was in a T-shirt in Ushuaia.
Huh.
Global warming, it's like the front line down there. I shouldn't have been in a T-shirt, surely. And I didn't know, but 20 years ago there was a glacier at the top of the street in Ushuaia. You could walk from central Ushuaia, and there was the Mitchell Glacier. And you could go and see it. It's gone. And, I'm in a T-shirt. And at Stanley, Puerto Argentino, it was like I was in a T-shirt at times. Like there was a strong wind. The rain, like it stopped. The rain is far less than it used to. So they've had to abandon agriculture on quite a lot of the islands. There's simply not enough water to support it. So I saw it in Ushuaia, and I saw it at Malvinas, just the effect of global warming, and it was absolutely terrifying.
Huh. That's sad.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, it's sad. That's sad. Would you like to go back?
I'd love to go back. I'd like to have more money to go back, but it'd be great if I could take a...
I would like to visit the Malvinas.
Yeah, look, it is really somewhere amazing.
So you're saying anyone can go? I could go.
Yes, you
he
can
could
go.
Yes,
You
he
only
could
have
go.
to have a lot of money.
You got to have a lot of money, and you have to fly to Ushuaia.
Ushuaia's only till RGL's airport's cleaned up, or you can go through Chile. But I'm living in Buenos Aires, so I wanted to go. I wanted to do that flight because it's such an interesting flight, and this once a month flight from Argentina. So, but the rules are with flying in, you don't need a visa if you're from Argentine citizen. You have to have private medical insurance with hospital evacuation policy.
That's the most amount of money thing that.
Yeah.
And you have to have a return ticket.
You can't live there if you wanted to stay there.
Oh no! If you go there, you besides strictly as a tourist, you must have a job. There must be a job lined up and probably accommodation lined up, and there's not enough houses. So it's like housing is a big problem there.
Can you go there and open up a parrilla? No. Open a parrilla
Well, there are.
It will be difficult to maintain the meat.
to get the meat.
The good meat.
Well, they have their own meat. They have this fantastic lamb and beef.
Oh, there you go. Did you bring anything back? Any souvenirs? What do you bring back from the Malvinas?
Oh, I'm not sure I should say.
Oh, what did you? A T-shirt?
I don't want to get into trouble.
I survived the Malvinas.
I brought back stuff that will remain carefully hidden till I've left this country.
That's all I have to say. So the final question today, because he was already here and you asked him, it could be, what do you think it's like to be a Falklander?
What's it like to be a Falklander? Malvin? What was
They say Kelper, but it's not good.
No, Kelpers,
Malvinense.
okay, they call themselves Kelpers. Well, I think it's good if you like a drink. I think it's like if you like a drink. It's they have to be pretty tough. They have a tradition because their families have been there forever. I think, though, that their way of life is, I don't think it'll ever be the same after the war. So everything changed for them. So the old Falklands is gone forever and the new Falklands is wealthy, but, it's not like they don't have any problems. So...
I'm sure they have a lot of AA meetings there.
Yes,
a lot
exactly.
Of alcoholic.
And anxiety.
Not much to do in those places.
I think... Look, it was probably mainly because I was talking to people who had been through the war, but everyone seemed to be quite anxious and just this background anxiety. And they said that I was told that around the time of the anniversary of the conflict, it's everybody starts getting wound up and upset. I talked to this girl and she was locked up in Goose Green in the community hall, so all the population of Goose Green was locked up there, and she was this young girl that was locked up there with her family, and she said that I didn't think that I'd been affected. I was too young, and now when there's planes flying over, she jumps under the table.
Wow.
And it's a long way later, she said, I'm totally affected. And it's really affected my life, and so I think there is a lot of anxiety, and also their whole way of life's changing, and it was a farm-based economy now, and now a minority of people live on camp. It's called camp, as in campo. By the way, they use gaucho saddles. They ride Argentine style, so there is still like the influence of Argentina, and the Patagonian sheep industry was actually started by Falklanders who moved over there, started up big estancias in the south, and there used to be all these links between Patagonia and the Falklands and families on both sides, and now, from what I gather, they don't really communicate with each other. They're still family on both sides, but it's like they never visit.
That's a shame.
Yeah, so anyway.
That's a shame. All right. Well, thank you very much, Daniel, for your insight. It's very insightful, and thank you for that.
Thank you, and I hope I haven't caused offence.
No.
Keep traveling.
I did say the F word.
We expect you back soon.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. We'll see you next time on the Gringos in Buenos Aires podcast. Ciao.